Hey, nice to see you again.
How are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
I attended talks of Roger Castillo when he came to Pune. You suggested me, no?
Yeah, nice.
It was very nice experience.
Yeah. Was he
And
there for a long time?
sorry,
How long was he there for?
he was there here, I think, for 20 days. More than 20 days, I think.
Nice.
I could attend only, I think, 5 to 6 talks of him. And the basic thing that he was talking about, the idea of doership,
Yeah.
and which is completely complementary from your teaching.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, it helped me. It helped me really, to some extent, to find peace,
Yeah.
because there were some ideas involved in me which I have, like uh, in the past, what I used to think, like I have to go to room and I have to go and meditate and to self-inquiry, do.
Yeah.
All that implies there is a doer, meditator, and all those ideas has fallen apart.
Yeah.
So it was good experience.
Yeah.
I have today 3 questions for you.
Yeah. Oh, you've got
Would
them
you like?
written out. I can see him opening the file.
Let me just go back and see what was the question. Okay, so the first question is, uh, this is it has something to do with seeking.
Mm-hmm.
So the question, so for example, I am sitting here right now
Yeah.
and watching some interesting series of something comedy episode or something.
So you think you're sitting there, but in actuality there is nobody sitting there.
Correct. There is only consciousness, but right now, let's say I'm watching a comedy episode, and then it's morning time and I have to go to office and all. But usually what I do, I wake up early in the morning, turn on the laptop, or start watching something, WWE or something. But it's not always the case, very rarely it happens. So I'm giving example of that. So what happens in that case, I am watching something and immediately mind starts to hit, okay, get ready, you have to go to bath, get ready. So what happens in that case? Seeking continues. So this is initially in the morning seeking started. So with what happens? I am ignoring the thought every time. It is saying, oh, get up, you have to go to washroom, you have to take bath. It's 9 o'clock, it's 10 o'clock or so and so. So I am continuously avoiding that thought. Continuously talking also. With that, no suffering builds up. I can't even take action to stop what I'm seeing, since mind is also interested. And on other hand, mind is also telling, get up, you have to run away from here, you have to go to office, you have to do. It's again the idea of doership.
Yeah.
But this is how the seeking is happening. And another example of it is, for example, I'm doing some work in office, so some resistance will build up because you are continuously doing it. So what will happen with that? Mind will say, okay, let's stop it and I'll come back it little later. So that little later means some future time. But in actuality, there is only now.
I like that. Little later.
Yeah. So
I will come
this is
back
the
to that
seeking
a
thought.
little later.
So it's a thinking thought. So I will start focusing on something YouTube, avoiding the work. But then if I will continue to work, I continue to watch YouTube for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, then again mind starts to hit. It will say, oh, you have to get back to work. But I am not listening to mind. I mean, not following what it is saying, but still resistance is there. Not fully listening to it. I'm not stopping what I'm doing. What YouTube I'm watching, I'm not stopping that. But at the same time, mind is again and again hitting. Because of that, suffering builds up. So what to do with that? This is the reason seeking is happening. The main reason of seeking is I'm denying the moment. I'm denying what is happening. So what is happening is I have to be working, but resistance is building. So this question I also asked to Roger, can you continuously work for 24 hours? So he said, no, we are biological entities. It's not possible. You cannot study for 24 hours. It's true also. It's very obvious we cannot do that. So my question is clear.
What's your question? You're asking how to stop that.
I am asking how to. So I am sitting, I am watching YouTube. I know if I will fully attend what I am doing, like I am watching YouTube, and I am watching it from last 30 minutes. Mind is still hitting me. If I fully attend what I am doing, then this thought should disappear, right?
I don't know about that. That's all very...
So right now, like you are talking to me.
Yeah.
So there must be some thought in the background, okay, I have to go to washroom. Or maybe we are continuously interested in talking, maybe some very good question came up, something like that.
What do you have to go to the washroom for now?
No, for you I'm saying. So let's say you are talking to me and something interesting is happening, some question is interesting, or maybe your answer is very interesting. But at the same time, mind is telling you, okay, I have to go to washroom urgently, I am under pressure or something. But you are not listening to it. That thought is arising, it passing. But in my case, it's not passing. It's coming. It's hitting again and again.
Yeah. Just give me a moment. Let's see what comes. You see, nothing now.
Sorry?
Nothing now has got anything to do with you being at work and you having this washroom or this problem, this conflict going in your head. Like it doesn't exist now.
Yeah, it doesn't exist now.
Yeah. This is what's happening. I know that's a really unsatisfying answer.
No.
But it's
not satisfying, neither it's satisfying nor unsatisfying, because eventually realization has to come to me. I have to realize it internally, what is really happening. You will just point me towards that.
Yeah, but it's not even internally that you realize it, because there is nobody there. You see, you assume that you're watching yourself. So you assume that there is somebody that's aware of yourself, but there's actually nobody aware. There's a functioning of self-awareness, and so much energy gets stuck there. Like, we believe we're this self-awareness, but the self-awareness is just a sort of a voice combined with feelings and images giving the appearance of self-awareness, but it's not actually self-aware. But that self-awareness comments on what the experience is and then seeks to have a different experience. And even in all of that, even in registering all of that, I mean, that's what's happening. And in that moment, see why it's building up tension in you. And you're more than likely see that it's got nothing to do with you carrying on watching the videos. There's some other tension going on inside the body. And just put the attention there. But even know that the one that puts the attention there isn't a separate entity. It's all appearing in a boundless space. And the real freedom is the movement back to that boundless space, which is right here, right now, which is what's happening. Because now, what is the limitation of your bum on seat? If you put your attention in that feeling of bum on seat, how small or big is it? What is that sensation? It's only something in time, in thoughts, but in this very instant it's an infinite space which is totally mysterious. It doesn't belong to you or him, or it doesn't have a divide or a line. It doesn't have a size. It's infinity. experiencing itself. No thing experiencing itself as a thing. This infinite presence.
Yes.
And your mind's going to go, yeah, but.
But doesn't arise. But so this yes is actually appearing and disappearing. But one who is noticing is not disappearing. It's not appearing also.
But the noticer isn't self-awareness. I get the feeling that you think that the noticer is the self-awareness. The self-awareness is just the ability to move the camera. The noticer cannot be found and isn't separate from all things. Perception is all things, is sensation. It's not removed in any way. Perception is, and is totally empty perception and is all things. It is this presence, this radical sense of being.
I just keep sensing that I will not be able to ask you further questions.
So,
after meeting you, I have removed most of my misconceptions.
oh yeah?
Yeah. Should I ask next question?
Oh, you got another one? Sure.
Yeah, I have 3 questions.
Oh, 3. That was 2, or that was just 1?
It was first.
Just the 1.
So the second question is, okay, so last time when we met it was Ramana Ashram, right?
Yeah.
So in the Ramana Ashram when I visited, that was the first time I visited Ramana Ashram. So I've seen there one big huge something written about the experience that he had talked about. That very terrific, what was that, panic attack or something that he got in the age of 16. So said that experience he was describing. In that moment he realized that I am, and he said, I have never left that I am after that. So question is, what is that? Is it also with you?
It isn't a thing. It is presence. Traditionally, the way they spoke about it is that consciousness is aware of I am, but that's not true. That's not the way it goes. The presence and the consciousness is all the same thing, and the perception. And the perception, the perceiver, is nothing, is not a thing, is empty. And it's perceiving everything, but it's not separate. It is nothing as everything. So that I am is the world, is everything. You can never leave it. Even when you're identified, you can never leave it and you can never be in it because you are it. Even when you're identified, you are it. But in the identification, you're dreaming you're something limited and something else, and then there's an energetic expression of it. All there is that I am, that presence everywhere. But that I am is not something you can see. Traditionally, they say consciousness can see I am, but it's not that. It's this brilliant sense of being. It's not perceivable, it is. It's love. I'm not in the I am. It's impossible for someone to be in the I am. This is an attack on what Ramana Maharshi said and saying he's wrong. It's really hard to speak about, and everybody speaks about it in their own quality. But the way it would be spoken about here is all there is presence. For some other beings, they believe they're not presence. They believe they are a name and a label. And then there's a seeing, there's a remembering.
One more question. Are there 2 ways to get, it's again the same, it's a duality, words always imply duality. So my question is self-realization.
Yeah.
comes by two ways. Sometimes it comes to, I'm saying people, but it's not happening to people, I know. It's the consciousness which is liberated. So it is seen
It's
like
not
it
the
is,
consciousness that's liberated either. The consciousness was never contained. It's total mystery as to what's happened. Something collapses in the body-mind mechanism that's giving the appearance of separation. But the consciousness was never perception. Nothing was never contained. It just seemed like it was. This can never be contained. What looks now at Lisa, what hears Lisa, is not contained. It's infinite space, looking and hearing, but in you there's a functioning that's saying it's me listening to Lisa, but there's nobody there listening to Lisa. The looking, the hearing, the sensing of Lisa is everything. You're not separate from the seeing of my face. You are the very seeing of my face. You are my face, my hair, the colour of me. It's so intimate. That's how you know yourself, by what's being perceived.
Intuitively, I understand what you are saying. Even I can experience that what you are saying. But there are still certain things which is the happening.
Yeah.
Which sometimes express what is presence.
Yeah.
But now my question was, so last time when I was sitting in your talks, no? So you were describing about your realization. So in that moment you are sitting somewhere in a restaurant, some waitress came and something, and then some shift happened, you said.
Yeah.
So it was your awakening when shift happened. But in Roger's case, he said, he didn't speak with me about it. So what I have read about him, it was a slowly kind of realization internally.
Well, it was like that here as well, but ultimately there's no one. But for many years there was many awakenings before that thing happened in Bali.
No, is it for, my question is, are there two ways it happens? One is shift, other is eventually slowly.
It can only ever be instantaneous. It can appear as if it's gradual, but can only ever be instantaneous because that's all there ever is.
Because one more thing, after reading this Eckhart Tolle's teaching, so there was one concept he has developed, is the shift is happening, or shift has happened to him. So this was also a thought in my mind, which was kind of, I was waiting for some shift to happen. So one day I was listening to somebody, I don't remember his name, he's also a spiritual teacher. So he said, why don't you choose direct path to bliss? What are you waiting for? So the answer came, I am waiting for that shift to happen.
Yeah, but just...
So this was also
a
kind of misconcept which is removed now.
But
so
just forget about anything that comes up as a thing to get. Always do the opposite. So you have this idea about a shift to happen. You're waiting for the shift to happen, or you're waiting for enlightenment. When that appears, just do the opposite and see, okay, so there's something I'm waiting for. What is it that I'm lacking now? Why am I craving something? So what is it that I feel like I lack now? And just identify what it is that you're lacking.
Obvious. I will say I don't have that degree of peace.
So what is it that you want right now?
Yeah, I will say I want peace. I want more peace. So once I read one quote by Ardhashanti, so he said very nice. He said, wanting anything other than what is always arguing with what is.
So what happens?
So in this moment, if I argue I want peace, it means I am demanding something. Therefore, I am not having it.
Yeah, but just ignore what you want is peace, and just acknowledge that there is a longing for peace. Acknowledge that there is... So it's always the same. So you're waiting for a shift, and you believe that that's a real thought.
No, I'm not waiting for.
But you were. But you were waiting.
That illusion is removed now.
Yeah. But just always do the reverse. That was my point. Okay, third question.
I got your point. Third question. I think I have asked this question. So the question is, what is the difference between your knowing and my knowing? That everything comes and go, and only I stays, which doesn't come and go.
Yeah. Beingness, presence.
But now, don't say that I don't exist and you don't exist.
Well, you don't, but I is not a personal thing. The big I isn't a personal thing. What it means by I is presence. That presence which has been here when your I has been changing, when your separate I has been changing. That presence was there when you were 2, and you had no idea about yourself.
Yeah, this understanding I have, meaning these words are appearing, disappearing. But I, who is noticing everything, is not appearing. It is here, will be here, was here also. But
Yeah.
this is my knowing. But what is your knowing? That's what I'm asking to you.
What is my knowing?
How? Meaning, how, so this, you also know this truth, right? This is the truth which has been...
No, I don't know the truth. The person doesn't know the truth. It is the truth.
Pointing to truth.
Yeah, but you're projecting, you're personifying me, you're projecting a person into me. There is just presence here. There is nothing looking at you. Everything's just coming up, appearing. These words make it seem like I'm someone in time experiencing you and somebody in time knowing this. I don't know this in time. There is an intellect which appears that might know it in time, but that's not what's being talked about. There is a movement back to absolute stillness, and this is the reality of everything. Everything is this stillness. Everything is empty.
Right now I just have a realization that my mind is kind of asking direction where to land.
Yeah, landing is here.
Yeah.
Only ever here.
Why I want to know what is your knowing, it's all about mind is always asking for direction and tell me where to go. Only then I will lead there. No? Tell me the direction.
Yeah, which is normally an attempt to avoid fear or get to love. Avoid fear.
I don't have any fear.
Then get to love, get to peace. That's what you want. So it's just doing that sort of thing. It's just trying to navigate its way through that. But that's here. That is. What you look for is. It's not outside of this. Beautiful.
But if you say that, if what I look is not... repeat it, say what once again, what did you say just now?
What you look for is not outside of this. It is this.
It means what I'm looking for is myself only.
Yeah. Your true self though.
Yeah.
You're looking like into time for the timeless. It never will be found.
Looking, it's the confusion actually. That thought is appearing, it's convincing me and it's telling me to look.
Yeah, sort of.
But at the same time I know that what I'm trying to know cannot be known, I am it already.
You have a really nice voice. I like your voice.
See, the next question is appearing. How will the illusion end? Tell me.
How will what?
How will this illusion will end? Tell me.
Oh, sweet. Nice. Oh, well, thank you for calling and being so honest and open.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye, sweetie.
Bye.